Alright, so the aim of this PC is that this is the only gaming PC that makes sense to spend a lot of money on. So hey, if you like the video, press on that like button. If you're not seeing more videos, that can subscribe because that really helps me. And today we're looking at a $1,300 RX 6900 XT gaming PC. Now I really wouldn't want to waste a lot of time on the intro because we have a lot of benchmarks incoming and we have a really good deal on the AMD RX 6900 XT. That's why we are gonna talk about the GPU first. And the GPU is the AMD RX 6900 XT. So yeah, I really recommend you to take a look at this deal. And when it comes to the 6900 XT, as I told you, this is the highest end consumer sensible GPU that you could pay your money on. There isn't anything higher than this GPU in terms of performance other than the RTX 4080, which is $1,200, and the RTX 4090, and you know what it is, $1,600. So these are not, consumer grade pricing in my opinion. And even though the performance difference is big and we are not arguing with anything different than that, but let me tell you, if AMD actually the next gen GPUs has any kind of chance towards or against the RTX 4000 series, and they drop GPUs that are really good in price, this would not hurt the pricing of this GPU right now, and these GPUs will be still for around $560 to $550. So in other words, you're actually paying really good money on this GPU, and this is about as cheap as it gets for a high-end GPU like this. That's why I really would recommend you check out this GPU, and it goes so well with our rest of the PC parts. So going with the CPU, and I decided to go with the best value for money CPU that money can buy right now, and it's the Intel Core i5-13600K. Now this is a lot of cores CPU. I really don't know how many threads, but I believe it's like a 18 threads CPU or something like that. Anyways, this one goes for $300. It trades blows with the Ryzen 5800X3D and the 7600X. So in other words, they both perform around the same performance. Maybe the Ryzen CPUs are better in the FPS intensive games, but who would want 700 FPS in a game anyways? Anyways, also the reason I went with this CPU over the other two, because it will perform really good in the CPU intensive tasks like video editing and things of that sort. And I think you need that, even though we are not going with the highest end setup for an i5-13600K, still the performance will be more than enough and really good. And for the CPU cooler, we're looking at the Vitro V5 CPU cooler. So this is the budget one because we are going to use this PC for gaming and not heavy video editing and things of that sort. So you'll not need the high-end cooling solution for a CPU like that. And it's not that CPU like it doesn't get very hot unless you are using it for video editing and things of that sort that are really CPU intensive. And in this case, you could go with a higher end cooler if you want to. As for the board, we're looking at a Z690 board, DDR4 version for $130. I mean, I would want to go with a B660M board even because I'm not gonna overclock the CPU anyways, and I only want a board that's actually compatible with this CPU. So why not go with a B660M? Maybe I will link it down below, but it wouldn't make a lot of sense for a lot of people. But anyways, a B660M board is more than enough and it will give you really good gaming performance anyways for a 6900 XT, no bottlenecking, so you don't have to fear that. And for the people who actually have a B660M board, why are you afraid of hooking that up with a 13600K? That's the reason why you got it in the first place, because it has that better upgrade path over the H610M. So yeah, that's something to think about here. As for the RAM, we're looking at 32GB of DDR4 to 16GB kit of RAM. This one goes for $65, so that's actually really dirt cheap, and I recommend you check it out because hey, DDR4 RAM is pretty cheap and we are going to utilize that to the moon, So yeah, I really like it, and I have 32 gigs myself and I'm having a breeze so far. And the SSD, we're looking at 1TB PCIe Gen 4 SSD. Now yeah, Z690 boards actually and V660M boards support PCIe 4.0, PCIe Gen 4 SSDs, so you're getting the fast boot up times and loading speed, but you're not getting that much space. So if you want to invest in a mechanical hard drive next to that, you can do so. And nevertheless, I really like it the way it is for the pricing. I mean, $55 to $60 for a Gen 4 SSD is like a hidden gem in my opinion. When it comes to the case, we're looking at the NZXT H510 Flow, and you can add RGB fans to it. We have a lot of options, but yeah, RGB fans with a controller, or there's a built-in controller in the motherboard itself. I'd leave that to you. I love to have a controller myself, but hey, again, I'd leave that to you. But the NZXT H510 case is a really good one. It's a cheap one. It doesn't, looks really good, looks decent. If you have any other options, you can go with whatever you want. And the power supply, we are looking at the 850 watt power supply that goes for $80. $80, semi-modular, so there are a lot of options actually. But yeah, it depends on what is in stock right now, and what we have in stock goes for $80. So yeah, set the budget to $80 and make the least amount of wattage for a power supply that you need is 750 watts, and you will not go wrong, hands down. So yeah, that's been a pretty quick video about the $1300 gaming PC build, the 4K ready gaming PC. Yeah, it's a really good one. This is about as highest end I could go for a Black Friday gaming PC in my opinion, and I don't think you will get any PC similar to that performance for that price anytime soon. Hopefully I'm wrong, because that means that things will be cheaper. But yeah, it is what it is, and I'll see you in the next one, and peace.